YouTube, chicks, get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Look at Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh man, ain't no way, you guys. This has to be one of the craziest plot twists of 2025. As it turns out, you guys, Pusha T and Meek Mill were not the first artists to expose Drake for having ghostwriters. It was actually the guy that beat him in the rap battle last year, Kendrick Lamar. Now, you guys know Kendrick Lamar does not do social media. He does not do interviews. He does not do Instagram lives, nor does he do Twitter. The only way that we ever find out information about Kendrick Lamar is mainly through Kendrick's friends. People like Hitter J3, Glasses Malone, DJ Head, guys that's been around Kendrick from the jump. Now, sometimes it's a good thing, but other times it's pretty bad. Maybe it's just me, you guys, but certain conversation that's had in private should always remain private. If you ever find yourself on a podcast asking yourself if something you're about to say is snitching or not, 9 times out of 10, it's probably snitching. Now, on the most recent episode of The Bigger Picture with Elliot Wilson, Jeremy Hecht, and also DJ Head, they were having a conversation and called up Glasses Malone. Glasses went on to reveal that back in 2011, that's right, you guys, 2011, Kendrick Lamar knew about Drake's ghostwriting. Here's what he said.
Of when people actually knew Drake had any writers. We kind of didn't say it for sure last time, but at that time, were there rumblings that you knew of within the Cash Money crew that you knew he had people working with him, or it wasn't till later that you had heard those rumors?
The first person that brought it to my attention, and I don't know if this right to snitch on him, is Dot. Dot is the first person that brought it to my attention. But I'll be honest, when he first came, it was always, we knew it was a pop approach from a pop artist. He was introduced kind of as this Nickelodeon kind of kid to the people at the label. And, you know, talking to him, he was a well-mannered dude. But when they pressed play, you could just tell he was like a savant when it came to making records. Like, it was just nice. Yeah. So now that I understand what's happening, like, that would make sense. You know what I mean? Especially a lot earlier than we think. You know what I mean?
Was that 2011?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's around then. But I don't think we would have had rumbles about it because we kind of always knew that he was a pop artist. You know what I mean? Like, not like he's a rapper, but he was a pop artist. His approach was an assembly line of how he made music that fit. Like, and he had a bunch of, you know, he had a great team. 40 was fantastic. Boy, he won the T-minus. Them dudes were like fantastic. He walked in with this team. Like, he had a plan and he executed, and his plan worked.
But you knew that. Do you think Kendrick, when he said that to you, was he disappointed? Like, because basically, like, I've been studying this whole, like, was Kendrick disappointed?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I called the nigga a liar.
That's for fast. You know what I mean? That's a fact.
I didn't quite understand what pop meant, like what pop was. Like, now I'm like, God damn it. You know what I mean? It make perfect sense. But when he first said that, I was like, hell nah, man. I'm watching this dude do his thing. Like, you know, at that time, I'm still just kind of looking at him like somebody else at the label. You know what I mean? Like, shit, Tiger writing his own shit, Nick writing her own shit. Like, I'm thinking Cuz doing the same. And when Dot said it, remember, then I heard King Kunta. So I'm like, this is about Cuz. So when it came, you know what I'm saying? When it came out publicly, like when Meek kind of leaked it, and then I start asking around like all the back channel, I was like, oh, hell. You know what I mean? Which I didn't really take credit from him because, you know, I always kind of thought of him as like a pop artist. Like, you know, that's like being upset that you discover Madonna don't write her own songs.
I thought of it more like, yay. Like, I looked at it like,
I think Kendrick was probably upset because he was looking at Drake as his competition, which he said at that time. And he's like, I want to be the best rapper of my generation, which you are right now, because Drake was in that spot. I think he was like, damn, this is who they're looking at like that when I'm doing all this extra work.
I think that was around the time. Was that around that time when we were on that tour together?
It was right after.
It was right after we came back from that tour.
Right after. But when he told me, I was like, nigga, hell no. I'm like, you know what I mean? But I didn't. Now, in hindsight, it all makes sense. You know what I mean? His approach is very much like Michael Jackson, he just got multiple Rod Tempertons. You know what I mean? He said it openly a million times, and none of us ever paid attention that this was his approach, because we've looked at rap. Rap has been so synonymous with hip hop over, especially Elliot, me, and our lives, bro. So, you know, since fucking Debbie Harry rapped on Rapture, everybody else that's been decent in rapping, you pretty much knew that they were kind of a part of hip hop, versus now where rapping is being used with all genres. And now their own rules apply, you know, in that genre, or in that, you know, that whole collective of how they approach making records. So he's always had this really brilliant approach at how he was going to make records, but he also understood he was taking it all from a pop perspective.
Now, I'm pretty sure that was information that Kendrick probably would not have liked to be made public. A lot of Drake fans are now looking at Kendrick like, bruh, this man Drake was showing you love back in 2011. He put you on his tour. Not only that, but Drake being the bigger artist at the time, he was getting on records with you, trying to elevate your status in the game at the time. Now, I'm not sure how Kendrick found out this information about Drake back in 2011, but you have to imagine if he told Glasses Malone, he most likely told a whole lot of people as well. And not to mention, you guys, back in 2011, 2012, these guys also did a swap. Kendrick Lamar gave Drake a feature for Take Care, and he also took a feature from Drake for Good Kid, Mad City. So obviously, if you're a Drake fan, this looks a little bit weird to you. If you had an issue with me having ghostwriters, why are we still working together?
Drake's a real good dude, first and foremost. He heard my music probably a year back, reached out and just gave me respect on it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mutual feeling for us appreciating the music. I put out Section 80 a couple months later, like, yo, I need you on this tour, you know, it'll be a pleasure, be an honor. I was like, that's dope, man. So, you know what I mean? I can't back down from that, you know, to expand my music to a crowd that haven't heard it before. I know it's 15,000 people out there. I'm used to 2,000. I'm finna work. I'm finna get at least 100 of these folks.
And you also gotta ask yourself the question, did Drake let his guard down around Kendrick? Was he looking at Kendrick as a friend while Kendrick was looking at him as a colleague, as his competition that he needs to get rid of? Keep in mind, the Control verse did not come out until 2013. So this means that Kendrick Lamar had 2 years to be around Drake, study everything about him, learn information about him, some which he eventually used to defeat Drake last year. Now, personally, I just want to see an interview with somebody like Vori. We gotta hear from some of these ghostwriters that Drake had in the past. Right now, there's just too much misinformation going on between ghostwriters, producers, and also co-writers as well. But if I'm Kendrick Lamar, at this point, I have to send a cease and desist to all my friends with podcast mics. Stop trying to reveal private information that I did not co-sign. You guys get in the comments below. First of all, do you guys even believe this Glasses Malone story is true? And do you guys think Kendrick Lamar was hitting on Drake back in 2011? Or was he just playing it smart? Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.